Hello, my name is Elias Siegelman, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to break down a viral moment where Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, reportedly made a shocking claim in federal court about Epstein. We're going to break down her comments and take a closer look at what this all means. So, stay tuned and let's jump right in. Alright, ready? Roll the clip.
A newly unsealed wave of records from the United States Department of Justice has ignited fresh discussion after a 2002 redacted email signed Love, Melania appeared among millions of archived pages, photographs, and videos. A disclosure officials say is part of a transparency-driven release rather than a new investigation. Yet
Okay, so, off the bat, real bad, not a good look for Melania, not that she was looking good to begin with, being married to Trump and all, but yeah, off to a good start. Let's continue.
One that has rapidly gained online traction due to the high-profile names referenced within the correspondence. The email, which referenced a New York Magazine article about financier Jeffrey Epstein, included compliments about a published photograph and travel chatter about returning to New York, while the sender...
Okay, again, the Trumps and the Epsteins were bests of buddies. Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, Melania Trump, they were like this. They were tightest of buds. They were best friends. They did everything together. Trump is in the Epstein files over 1 million times. They were like best friends. They raped all the kids together. They were like doing it all the time. So yeah, Melania was introduced to Donald Trump through Epstein's network, and they hung out all the time. They went to the same parties. They're billionaires. Of course they did. They did all of their horrible shit together. They did all the crimes together. Like, you're hanging out with your best friend from like college or high school or whatever, and you're like playing video games, and these guys were hanging out and raping kids. That's how this works.
sender's address and identifying details remain blacked out, a point repeatedly highlighted by analysts reviewing the documents who note that the authorship has not been officially confirmed despite the visible signature. A reply...
Okay, so we're like hedging our bets here. That's fine. We do know basically what's going on here. The fact that Melania is implicated is not like a big news deal, right? It's like, hey, Melania probably knew what her husband was doing that entire time too. She's also probably been to the island plenty of times. This is not like anything new. And Donald Trump basically wished Ghislaine Maxwell in prison best of luck, right? And it's not like Melania had anything negative to say about her either. She praised her as well. She was like, hey, whatever. And yeah, they were friends. This is just par for the course.
Attributed to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate, later convicted in federal court in 2021 on trafficking-related charges, addressed the...
Which is fucking wild, by the way. She raped children, and she got caught on trafficking charges, and then she ends up at like a low minimum security prison with a puppy. And Epstein originally... he raped children. Again, it was widely known. He was accused and convicted of nothing, barely anything. He got like 9 months or whatever, where he could just go to prison in the evenings and sleep there and then work during the day. Like, people end up in jail for smoking weed for longer. I mean, obviously he got killed in prison. We don't really know for sure, but hey, like, Ghislaine Maxwell doesn't actually end up for life behind bars, even though plenty of other people do for much, much less serious crimes, because she is one of the elite. She knew the right people, and now she's trying to get a pardon from Trump. And knowing Melania and knowing Donald and knowing Ghislaine Maxwell here, like, yeah, of course that's what's going on. That's the deal. That's how these pedophile rich people always act.
Sender with a personal nickname and referenced changing travel plans, exchanges that, according to document annotations within the DOJ archive, are reproduced from historical email logs rather than newly discovered communications. The same disclosure also resurfaced archival photographs from early 2000s social events showing Donald Trump, businessman at the time and later President of the United States, alongside Epstein and other attendees. Imagery...
Like, okay, is anyone surprised by this? Okay, there's new evidence. Like, yes, obviously, there's going to be terabytes of new evidence. The DOJ has so far given us 2% of the Epstein files. 2%. And they've already said that they're done, that's it. There's no more files, everyone. Case closed. They've given us 2%. There are tens of terabytes, potentially hundreds of terabytes of data, of videos, of pictures, of emails. This is new evidence, great, but like no one's surprised. And what? We have multiple smoking guns at this point. We have an entire army, an artillery of smoking guns and skeletons in closets. We have armies of skeletons in these closets, and like still nothing is happening. We can come out with all the evidence we want, pointing fingers at Melania and Donald and all these other people who are involved, and unless the government actually goes after them, which they're not going to, justice will not be enacted. So it's basically up to local governments to go after their local residents. So state governments, city governments, because the federal government is entirely captured by pedophile, rapist, murderer, cannibals. That's how this system is functioning. The entire global network of billionaire politicians and all these rich, wealthy, connected people creating our culture through owning the media and through creating the laws through our governments. They create the society that we live in. We are living in the pedophile West. This is set up from the start. This is not news. So any new evidence that comes out connecting Melania to Ghislaine towards these travel plans, towards whatever, okay, it's new evidence. But again, what's it going to do? What's it going to add to the story? Is there going to be any crimes that she's going to be accused of, going to be convicted of? She should be. She's complicit. Donald is complicit. He should be behind bars for life. But again, what's going to happen? Likely nothing.
That has circulated widely before, but has re-entered public discussion due to its inclusion in the latest official file release. Further into the trove are FBI hotline summary notes referencing tips submitted years later, some of which were marked by officials as not credible, alongside a Department of Justice statement within the release clarifying that several claims were described as unfounded and politically timed. Language.
Of course they would say that. Of course they would say that. It's like, it's literally all of the evidence against Donald Trump and Melania, all of it is politically motivated. It's like, oh, or maybe they just committed so many crimes that the crimes are coming out and they're being investigated and looked into while they're also trying to run for office and winning the office of the presidency of the United States, where, again, we have a child rapist, murderer, cannibal as the president of the United States. So yeah, it was politically motivated, only because the crimes are so frequent and so often and so all-consuming that they happen while these people are also so powerful that they can become the president. And the
embedded directly in the record summaries themselves. Legal observers emphasize that the materials consist largely of archival emails, redacted correspondences, photographs, and call summaries, not indictments, underscoring that appearance in the files does not constitute proof of wrongdoing.
No, besides for all the video and all the physical evidence that's there and all the communication between these people that are directly linking them to the crimes. So yeah, just being in the files, like Marilyn Monroe is in the files. That doesn't mean that she was guilty of anything. Her name appears in the files. Okay. The point is to investigate the names and to find out in what context they appear in. That's the point. And they don't. The DOJ does not investigate. They're doing their very best to put the Epstein files behind them. Donald Trump is like, oh, we're still talking about the Epstein files? That's old news. It's old news, everyone.
A disclaimer echoed multiple times throughout the Justice Department's annotations within the released pages. As social media debate intensifies and headlines amplify.
I've seen conspiracy theories that say that that's not even Ghislaine Maxwell, or like the most recent appearance of her is not the real one, like body doubles. I'm not like one to believe in body doubles, but like at this point where Alex Jones was basically correct when saying there was this worldwide global cabal of pedophile billionaire elites, and then obviously he switches sides as soon as he realizes that those people are majority Republicans and some Democrats, of course. He just can't expose it because he's best buds with half of them. So he was basically right there. So now I'm like, oh wait, how many other conspiracy theories might be right at this point? Are there aliens? Are half of these people lizard men? Like, I don't know at this point.
selective excerpts, the unfolding reaction illustrates how large-scale transparency disclosures can revive historical associations and public scrutiny, even when official notes within the same documents caution that the contents represent archival records rather than
Because first, why would we trust anything the government says at all? Oh, the government put notes in here saying that, okay, we don't know for, okay, why would we trust that whatsoever? Because they're on Trump's side, they're trying to protect him. And two, yeah, historical evidence. Decades of it. These guys have been doing this for decades. Of course, historical evidence is gonna come back. That's how this works. God damn.
verified findings or new legal actions.
Ooh, new evidence. Even though there's plenty of like decades old evidence, and it's literally, if these people were not so well connected and not so wealthy and not literally in the highest office of the land, they would have been arrested after a single like allegation, after maybe one or two like the fact that they have raped thousands of children, that there are thousands of perpetrators involved, and we know they did this, and they're still running the entire government, is so fucked. It's so fucked. Okay, these new messages, like, I get it, like, but here's my point. All this new evidence is coming up, and it's like, it's not new. It always existed. It was always here. The government just wasn't looking into it. Obama, Biden, Bush, Clinton, they could have released those files as well. Like, again, that would have implicated plenty of Democrats as well as Republicans, and they should have done that. Pam Bondi said something like, oh, if all of the people in the Epstein files were prosecuted, then the entire system would collapse. Yes, good, hello? If the system is based on these people being in command and in control, and that's the system we live under, then it should collapse. We're basing our entire society off of the backs of pedophile billionaires? What the fuck? Okay, we're not getting anything new here. We're just like getting rehashes of the same pictures, but like, I can only say the same thing so many times. And hey, just like, listen to this. Like, considering these new emails just re-exposed Donald Trump and his wife to new connections or previously known connections within the Epstein files, like, we have to ask, what is going to be rediscovered or discovered next? And will Melania be directly implicated or involved, right? So, hey, let us know what you think so far about the Epstein files and how this DOJ and how this government is blocking as much of it as they can, and what we've seen so far. Like, we've seen enough to put these people behind bars for multiple lifetimes, in my opinion. And if you think so, like and subscribe to the channel for more exciting political content just like this. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Elias Siegelman, and oh boy, are we having a rough time of things. Peace, y'all.